right, happy Thursday, people. Welcome back to Chart Request Live. My name is Patrick Dunawilla. I am the editor of the Chart Report. Joining me today, we got Sam Gatlin. Sam's going to be on the charts today. Sam, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Patrick. How are you?
I'm doing
Patrick
well,
was
doing
telling
well.
me
So
about his woof calls.
that's right, that's right. But
You like to
what
talk
do you
about
think about
that? What's
this?
going on there?
I think we got a little lag going, but yeah, let's take a look at the wolf calls.
So you've got Woof following through on a big reaction from its earnings report. Had its best day in history, up almost 33% yesterday. Now you're up another almost 19% today.
Yeah, and you know what I really liked about it, if you zoom out a little more, I mean, this thing's gone straight down since its
Yeah,
IPO.
it's like a 95% drawdown.
Yeah, 95% drawdown. But like, went public I think in 2021 and just didn't even make like a new high. It just went straight down.
Yeah.
And here we are, we formed that nice little head and shoulders. That seems to be like the pattern of the month or pattern of the year. Seeing an awful lot of head and shoulders out there. Would are you seeing the same?
Kind of like this.
Yeah, just like that.
Like this. Wow.
Neckline right around 450 there.
So if you
Um,
measure it out, where does that take you? Four,
Oof.
4.5.
So what's
Call
that?
it 3 points on top of 4.5. So around here, 750. That would make
Sounds
sense
about
to
right.
see.
Yeah,
Like
and
more
right
upside.
around those kind of former lows there, right?
Yeah,
Would make sense.
definitely.
But what do you
That's a
think
good
about the
one.
broader market? The rebound there started off kind of ugly, but here we are. Nice rebound these last 2 days.
Yeah, it has been a good rebound. Natural gas definitely has my attention, up almost 5% today. I mean, that chart looks fantastic, Patrick. Best month of the year for natural gas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I heard you actually talking about how Nat Gas has pretty good seasonals this time. You said best
Yeah,
month?
yeah, best month. And it has a, I'll pull up the chart here, but it looks fantastic.
Oh
See,
wow.
yeah, and I've been dropping the WAP from this peak here. Yeah, just like that. It already has my markings.
There you go.
I mean, that looks so good, Patrick. I think you've got a good chance to get up here towards 315, the summer's
There you
peak.
go. It's the Widowmaker, right?
Yeah.
I have friends that won't even they'll allow themselves one net gas trade a year because it's just such a roller coaster.
September's the time to do it, Patrick.
Do you ready to get into the mailbag?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we haven't, but just for to keep the lawyers happy, this is for educational purposes only. Nothing we say here is meant to be taken as investment advice. But with that said, let's kick it off. This one's from the mailbag. And if you guys are just joining us, we always get to the mailbag first. So if you want us to take a look at your tickers first, just email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com. The email address is scrolling right here below. And we'll get to them first on Tuesday. But let's kick it off. Nick sent us his request. Chubb, it's CB. And he said, to quote me, lazy coattail investing. So I think that is in reference to when I was talking about Oxy
Yeah.
last a couple days ago and how a lot of people were buying Oxy because of that Buffett floor, and he was buying at 55 consistently or 57 around there. And of course, that broke down, didn't work so well. I think I called it like one of the most crowded coattail trades out there. So I'm not sure who the big investor is in this Chubb, but what do you think?
No, Chubb looks fantastic. This is a Swiss stock, isn't it? I believe.
It's
Uh,
insurance, right?
yeah, Swiss insurance. So what a business that is. No, making all-time highs here. Just a steady winner is this Chubb. There's multiple fib extensions that are coming up here, so you could run into some trouble here below 300, but long-term uptrend for sure. It depends on what your time frame is here. Not did they mention one, Patrick?
They don't have a time frame on this one, but what do you think? It looks awfully extended. I'd be a little afraid to start a position here.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't start a position here. I could definitely see it taking some time to get above this 261.8 extension level, just below $300. But if you're above $300, I love it long towards 400, over 400.
Yeah,
426 is the next extension.
And you just basically fibbed out the COVID decline there, right?
Yeah.
So
but if you zoom out farther, there's like going back to the financial crisis, there's also a fib up around 300. So we've got that confluence of Fibonacci resistance potentially coming into play, but long-term uptrend. That's what this is.
Let's move on to PEG. This one's from Dan. And he noted the relative strength. It's been a tough tape for a lot of things, but not so much for PEG. New highs.
So what is this? Is this a real estate stock?
So PEG, it's a utility stock.
Utility stock. Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's one of the bigger ones in XLU too. I'll take a look while you're charting it out there.
Yeah, so new all-time highs here. Love to see that. I'm going to fib out this huge base from the financial crisis peak. So it took about a decade to break out of that base, and now you've taken out the first extension level, heading towards 100 over longer time frames. If we zoom in here, would you fib out the COVID base or this 2022 base, Patrick?
I usually do the most recent first, kind of the most recent decline first. So I would probably do the base first, but
kind of like this.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. So that's 75, and then if you do the COVID decline, that's a more relevant level here. So you're breaking above that 81.5 level with that looks pretty decisive to me, Patrick. Is that in the last several weeks of action?
Yeah, it looks like a little bull flag almost, right?
Yeah.
Underneath for a while.
No, this looks great. Yeah, I'd probably lean against 81.50 as a stop and then targeting 110. Little $100 roll, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
I like this one.
And quite a reversal too. It opened down this week, and here we are making all-time highs here. So, quite a change of character this week. Nice.
Utilities have been very strong as well.
They have, yeah. I'm pretty sure. I want to say they've been the best performing sector in the second half, but that might go to real estate, right?
If you're looking at the trailing 6 months, it's utilities.
Okay.
Year to date, it's utilities.
Oh yeah, that's right. Year to date, they're up more than 20% year to date, I think.
Yeah, just 24.25 year to date.
If you had just told me that, just that fun fact, like utilities are up 20% year to date, what type of environment do you think we'd be in?
Semiconductors in a 50% drawdown.
Yeah.
Like, how severe is that?
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to just look at the utility sector kind of more broadly real quick?
Yeah, let's look at the sector ETF, XLU.
Last one in the mailbag.
I think this is a pretty equally weighted one too, isn't it, Patrick?
XLU?
Yeah.
You know, I actually just had it up here. By the way, that PEG, the one we were just looking at, that's the 9th largest utility stock in there. So not the biggest, not the smallest. So I wouldn't call it equally weighted. You got Nextera is like 14%, and then the second largest component is 8%. And then it goes all the way down to 1 and 2%. So
Yeah, there's some
not that
big
equally
weighting at the
weighted. Probably
top.
not as yeah, probably not as top heavy as like some of like tech or something like that or communications. Um, well, actually, what would you say the most um top heavy index or sector is? Probably discretionary.
That's a good question. I think it's communications, but you'll have to check my math. It's like
Yeah, it's one
Meta
of
and
those
Google are
three,
like 50%
discretionary
of that.
tech or
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but this is the XLU chart, Patrick, running into the
Any
summer
thoughts here?
highs.
Utilities?
Yeah, I mean, this is a big level here. 78 or so, I would call it. We're currently below that by 50 cents, but getting really
Yeah.
close to a clean breakout here. New all-time highs for utilities. It would make a lot of sense to see this continue, probably.
Isn't that crazy? It's the best performing sector this year and it hasn't even broken out to all-time highs
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Um,
Sector rotation is powerful.
it sure is, yeah. So let's take a look at PBA next. And his time frame for this one's 6 months.
PGA,
PBA.
PBA.
Yeah. This looks like a
I think I
you know
clicked
what?
on the wrong
This
one.
one is this one's under $1 billion. I don't know if you want to do this one or not. It's just under. It's like 830
Just
million.
under. It looks like a
Yeah.
pipeline, oil and gas.
It's a utilities name, water utilities, I guess.
Okay. Let's take a quick look at it.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about utilities, let's keep
Yeah.
it going.
It's relevant.
Yeah, definitely.
But normally, just so you guys know, we try to look at things that are at least $1 billion in market cap. Try to stay away from these penny stocks, but it's relevant. We'll look at it.
So it looks like you really
Oh boy,
want to
you went
trade
all the
against-
way out.
Oh yeah. Looks like you really want to trade against this level here. Maybe a close above 41 and a half, you could jump it. You get confirmation around 42 and a half. This one has some work to do, but it looks very constructive.
Wait, I think we're looking at different things. Yep, totally. You're probably looking at the correct thing. Yep. My bad.
So yeah, so this one's like 23 and a half billion.
Okay, yeah.
5%.
Ignore everything I just said then.
Okay. So let's fib it out. So if we do get back above that level, I would be targeting 51 and 3/4, just below 52, really. So
Okay.
that's a pretty good gain there. 20% or so.
With
Could
this one,
happen.
I would probably just take it off right at the all-time highs from 2014.
Yes, yeah.
You gotta imagine there's probably some price memory there. You know, it's probably better to do that than to stick around for that extra, you know, that marginal 25 cents or whatever,
Yeah, no, that's a good
or
point.
dollar or so. Yeah.
So really you target 48 and a half is what I would say.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of upside.
And then at that point, you know, not a ton, but yeah. But you could probably, I mean, where would your out point be? Where would your stop be?
Yeah, that's the thing is you have pretty well-defined risk here. 41, you could give it down to 40. Just depends
Yeah.
on your preference, but it's a good range there.
All right. You ready to hit the chat?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What's going on, Jonathan? Wavy, what's going on? Let's start with Jonathan's. He's got PHAT, fat. What is
Hey,
this?
I love this one.
Phantom
Pharmaceutical.
Pharmaceuticals. Wow. I've never heard of this one, but great ticker symbol, huh?
Yeah, fat.
with a PH.
Yes. So you've got a pretty textbook bearish to bullish reversal pattern taking place here just now, putting the finishing touches on it here. So really the level that it broke out from was 17. So that's where you really wanted to buy it. Let's see if there's any retracements that come into play here. So maybe your first target is 28. That's pretty nice. I think we could also, would you look at an extension from this base, Patrick?
Yeah, you know, I would first start by drawing some support from the IPO there. I think that could be a level that might
Right.
take some time to get through. You know, it's really kind of where it's at right now is that there kind of seems to be a pretty big inflection point around that $20 level. That seems to be, I think, the level you want to wait to clear.
Yeah, and going to all-time highs after that. That's the trade.
I mean, I won't say all-time highs, but I'll say the risk is to the upside at that point.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know?
This has been relative strength in biotech.
Yeah,
Um,
good point.
Definitely. Not a whole lot of charts look like this.
Okay,
So
it's a small
really,
one.
you want 17 to 20, 22, I think is the trade right now. We're right in the middle of that, but above 22 potentially could get just shy of 50.
Yeah. How about the symmetry on this one, right? Formed this
Yeah.
multi-year top and then formed this multi-year bottom on this one. It looks like a big yin yang.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, let's go to MU. So this has been one of my favorite tickers for a while, long-term plays.
Micron?
Yeah, but it's been a tough one to own recently. I thought about adding to it, but I didn't want to add to a loser. It started working out really well, took some profits on it, but got back in around I think 90, 91, and hasn't really stood up yet. Obviously, semis have been dealing with some pressure, but chart still, I mean, to me, hasn't totally broken down yet.
No, definitely not. It's in a pretty severe drawdown though, too, isn't it, Patrick? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it peak to trough fell over 46%.
Oh yeah.
Pretty nasty. But this
But
is
it hit
all in
its
the
target
context
first,
of
right?
a multi-decade base, right? Like that's important to remember.
Yeah. And it hit its
Um,
first target. So this is kind of just that first retest after the breakout.
Right. Well, this is the real test to see if this former resistance is ready to turn into support now.
Yeah.
It's been resistance for a very, very long time. So, you think it holds, Patrick?
Year.
You think this is where you buy?
I mean, it's holding so far. If it doesn't, then my line in the sand for this one's really 80. If it can't hold 80, then bye-bye.
Yeah, I like that.
And if you draw the trend line off the '08 lows, it's kind of also kind of intersecting with that horizontal resistance there.
Yeah, wow. Love to see that. Little confluence there. Yeah, this chart is so nice, Patrick.
Oh yeah, Micron's a good one. I like it because it's good for different time frames too. Like right here, you could be buying it for a trade back to 150, or you could be buying it, you know, for a more longer term position because this is a 24-year base.
And you have a bit of a divergence here. Maybe that's a little cute. It was more sideways here. But you are making a higher low on the RSI, the daily RSI.
Okay.
But you did have that really nasty reaction to earnings. Looks
Yeah.
like back in June.
Yeah.
That's what really started all this off. What else do we have, Patrick?
All right. Let's move to Wavy's got long NWE. Yeah, NWE.
Another energy stock. Let's
Another
go.
energy name.
These are exciting.
And energy's been under quite a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Crude
this
oil
is
is having a nice
electric.
bounce today, though.
Yeah,
It was up 3% at one point.
it's an energy utilities. 3.4
This one of
billion.
those massive not a top patterns.
That's what I was thinking.
Wow, certainly looks like it.
Northwestern Energy Group engages in the provision of electricity and natural gas to customers in Montana, South Dakota, Nebraska, and Yellowstone National Park. Interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I think 49 and a half really is the line in the sand for this one.
You know what I like about this one is that it punched through support. You got the shakeout, and you're just coming off that.
Right, yeah. This could be the catalyst to take you back towards 70, really.
Yeah, I think you're seeing that perfectly.
You're breaking this downtrend line also.
Give me your clear levels. Like if you're playing this one today, what are you doing?
If I have a 1 month time frame, what?
Um,
What's my time frame?
let's call it a 3 month time frame, or 3 to 6 month time frame.
Yeah, I think 54 would be my initial stop. Buying it here. First target towards 61 if you're being very tactical, and then you get from 61 you get to 71 or 70 and a half, and then from there you get to 80. That's kind of how I would see it if I was being very tactical.
I like it.
But no, this thing's been in a steady uptrend most of this year, really. Higher highs, higher lows. It looks good. In the context of energy not being so good recently.
Right. Shown. Now this one is. I have this one as a utilities, so I don't know that it's necessarily an energy play, but it does. Yeah. I mean, it's energy's in the name, right? So
Yeah.
Northwest Energy Group. Anyway,
Close to a 5% dividend yield with that one. So that's pretty good.
Let's move on to ELF.
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 This has been a monster winner.
Oh yeah.
Come off a little bit recently, but man, how much did this go up?
That's one where you got to start with that giant base that it broke out of. I think it was like a 5 or 6 year base or something like that.
Bottomed in early 2019. Around $6.50. Rallied to $220. So that's 5
Once
years.
it cleared that 33-ish level, it was just off to the races.
Yeah, 3,000% in 5 years. Not bad. So are there some extension levels up here? Looks like it.
Looks like it's already been cut in half from the top. Wow.
Yeah. Painful. But yeah, this 116 level seem to be digging in there right now. Really gotten hit recently. So they had earnings at the beginning of August and they have fallen like 40% from there. So it's been tough. Not an easy trade here.
Yeah.
You want to wait for like
47%. Yes.
Yeah, pretty big drawdown. There's not really a whole lot of evidence that the bulls are taking over the trend on any time frame here. Looks like the bears are in control. Maybe it's time for a dead cat bounce, but
no, it does look longer term. It looks like it is kind of breaking down. I'm not sure. To your point, if you're going to trade this one, I think you got to be quick with it because if you make any mistakes with it, it's not gonna time is not on your side in a downtrend, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like I think you could find some resistance here. 133, or maybe even use the earnings gap. That would get you to 145. But if you really want to buy the dip in this, that would probably be the move. Stop out at 110, closing low.
I see. You ready to move on?
Yeah, let's do it, Patrick.
Let's do eBay. This one's from Adam Lake.
eBay.
You ever bought anything on eBay, Sam?
I don't think so. Have you?
Oh, sure. Not a ton of things, but definitely back in the day too.
Yeah. I mean, this chart looks fantastic. So from the 2020 low, how much did we rally? We did 200% in the last cycle. Now we're approaching the 61.8 retracement level of the prior drawdown. I think this could be a very big level, around 64. Could take some time to digest there. We've certainly been on a run here, getting extremely overbought on a weekly RSI. Let's look at the daily RSI, also extremely overbought. Not a bearish thing.
No, it's nice to see it confirming, right?
Definitely. But this would be a logical place to see some digestion, that's for sure. 64, call it. But if you're above 64, I think you want to be long targeting this former cycle high around $81.
Yeah, it's a nice looking chart.
It's a very nice looking chart.
It probably, like you said, probably needs to consolidate for a few weeks at least.
Right.
But
and this isn't this is kind of like a young
up.
aristocrat type stock, Patrick. Like they're not really growing. It's not just some junky high growth stock.
Yeah.
This base kind of looks like a junky ARK stock type base. That's already resolved. But yeah.
Let's do RDDT.
Reddit.
New
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Really thought it was going to break out here. Got back up to 74, that area. IPO high.
With any IPO, you know what I like to do first?
What's that?
Throw a VWAP
Yeah.
right on that.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great look, Patrick. You can tell that's really been coming into play. It was support back here. Got turned into resistance for a little bit. And it's back to acting as support. You'd say the bulls are probably in control of this one. If you want to get more tactical, yeah, I mean, you could be buying this right here, this resolution from this short-term range. So call it 60 and a half, really. So if you're above that, I think you could be in for a little squeeze here towards 73, 70 to 75. That's kind of a messy range. But this one did have some good short interest. Let's see what that looks like now.
Did it?
It's really come down 7.5% short interest. Less than a day to cover. So not really something to consider, but this volatility compression is certainly noteworthy. What do you think about that, Patrick?
With this one, I think it needs time. I think for me, I like to have a little bit more price history. But if you really wanted to play it, the important thing is that you have an out point. And I think you provided like a great little zone where you're clearly out if we're under that, right? So what is that lower one? 55-ish, right? 56. So yeah, if you're
56.
You can give this one a shot here. It's not my favorite, but I would probably get in here, throw a stop at 56, ride it to 115. I think that's the fib if you fib out the initial decline. that gets you to 115. So
Oh, so you
playing it
think it
back to
breaks
all-time
out?
high. If you're back to all-time highs there at 75-ish, I would probably take half off at that point, um, and move my stop up and just leave the rest on to run kind of thing.
Yeah, no, this is a if you fib out that initial decline, this is the 61.8 retracement. So this is a very big level, a great place to
Oh, I
begin
didn't
in the
even
position.
notice. Oh,
Yeah,
there you go. See, we found a decent level there. And I do like that tight consolidation. It's not the worst thing. It's just I'm sure you're the same. Just like to having a little bit more price memory, right?
right, definitely. Less than a year with this one.
Right. All right. Let's move on to Emerson EME, or I'm sorry, MCore.
Yeah.
This is a nice one. I think you'll like this.
Is this an industrial stock?
It sounds like it. Engineering and construction. Yeah, yeah. 18 billion.
That's a sweet spot. So this thing has been in a long-term uptrend, near all-time highs.
Why do you
here.
say that's the sweet spot? I'm curious.
Say that again?
Why do you say that's the sweet spot?
Oh, it's just like for these boring industrial companies, you don't want them too big. Like 10 to 20, I've found to be a very nice spot. A lot of those charts just look like this, like they
Yeah.
just go up a lot. It's not the most high beta stock, but it's definitely outperformed a lot of things. So let's zoom in and see if we can get a good fib extension level here. I think I'll probably start with the COVID decline for my fibs, so that, yeah, in fact, is relevant today. Struggling with this 400 level. It's acted as resistance multiple times here since May. But I would be a buyer of a breakout above 397, 400, big round number. But from there, I think you're going to 615. And this thing
Good.
is very, very strong. So like if we did a EME XLI ratio, stock looks the same. It just goes up. I mean, look at that, Patrick. Versus the XLI.
It's like it broke out of a big consolidation there not too long ago.
It's been
2020.
screaming higher.
Yeah.
So since that 2020 decline, we are up like over 200%, well over 200% versus XLI. So
Whoa.
that's what you call relative strength.
You want to move on or?
Let's do it. Yeah. This was a great one. Who brought this?
So this one comes from Donovan.
Donovan. This is probably my chart of the day.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's hit one more and then we'll wrap it up. Let's do Squarespace, SQSP.
So is this a fintech?
You know what? I think this might have gotten. Did this thing get acquired?
It kind of looks that way, Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I wonder who bought them.
Yeah, right. Definitely looks like it.
Yeah.
So I think we hit them all here.
Okay.
Any tickers that you want to look at? Any ones that you're watching right now?
Yeah, I like the T-Rup. We were talking about Woof.
So what is going on with this pet theme? Because yesterday the title of my note to private access members was "Who Let the Dogs Out?" Because we had Petco and we had Chewy. Now you're showing me Trupanion, which is the pet insurance company. What's going on?
I don't know, Patrick. It's a great question. I think the Wolf conference call really sparked this whole thing off, and all these names are carrying pretty large short interests. So, uh, like, you get one of them going, then it's likely that all of them are going to start
True,
squeezing. So, I think that's what we've seen.
true. No pun intended, because we are looking at Trupanion.
I think there's a yeah. So I think you could buy this continuation pattern breakout and target 71, and that could happen pretty fast.
Yeah, and if you look over to your
Completed
left
that.
of that, a lot of that was a former support level too, so that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. But like the primary trend has reversed to the upside. I'd love to see this high and tight consolidation like we're getting here. Strong day today. We're up over 6%. So I like
You
this
know,
one.
Sam, I don't know if they have a pet ETF, but I'm sure nobody likes making custom indexes more than you, so I would love to see
No, I've looked
what
at that. There is one actually.
is
Uh,
there?
I
What is
forget the
it? Do you
ticker.
know?
Um, I'll bring it next time
We'll,
with me.
we'll look at it next time, yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching. Sam, I forgot to ask you, what was your favorite today? I think you already
That EME,
might have mentioned.
that's what we were looking at. M Core.
Yeah,
That looks
I,
so
th I think I might have to go with that one too.
nice. Good
All
stuff,
right,
Patrick.
well, Sam, let's leave it here for today.
Let's do
Uh,
it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com so we can get to your ticker requests next time on Tuesday. One more time, I'm Patrick Dunawella, Sam Gatlin. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.